Hey everyone, these Rolling Stones albums, from Steel Wheels to whatever the last album, Blue and Lonesome, well maybe not Blue and Lonesome, I don't know. Because you see, I think during their later period, we're talking this album and further on, I think I might probably do these in parts, to two parts, because most of these songs I don't really know, to be honest. But for this album, I'm going to do two parts of this. They're really short parts, of side one and side two here. But I'm going to do side one here on this review. And the album I'm going to be reviewing is their last album in the 80s. It's called Steel Wheels. That's a cool album cover, by the way. Pretty cool. And this was the last album. And of course, he hit it right at the park. Bill Wyman. This was his last album with the band. But, he would come back. Some people critically, like I mentioned from the Dirty Work album review, there's people that don't like this album, but I think this is a pretty good damn album. I'm telling you right now. This has, at this time, I think the Stones were really, incorporating a lot of their older, the older sound, the classic sound, with the ballad stuff and the rockabilly, hard rock, rock and roll, basically. Stuff from Sticky Fingers and Exile. They're trying to get back to that sort of sound. This went to number 3 in the US, surprisingly. The Stones weren't hitting number 1, on the Billboard 200 album chart anymore, but this did pretty well. Number 3 and went double platinum. UK went to number 2, and it went gold. This was released on August the 29th of 1989. It was recorded pretty shortly, within just 3 months. March, April, and May of 1989. And it was recorded in Air Studios, followed by Olympic in London and Morocco. So it's kind of interesting. Chris Kimsey is back. He played on Tattoo You. He also produced 1983's Undercover. So this is the second produced album with the band. And of course, the Glimmer Twins as well, producing this. Jagger Richards. This was also the second and last album to be released on Columbia Records. They were, at this time they were licensed with the Columbia. And Bill Wyman, like I mentioned, this was his last album with the band because he made his departure and announcement just 3 years after this album. And plus also a very special year, in the beginning of 1989, the Stones got inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That was definitely one of the biggest achievements that I'm pretty sure the Stones have ever had, this should have been the first. And I think they were. I think at this time they started doing the whole, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing. And plus 50 songs were recorded for this album. Of course they had to narrow it down to the best songs, And of course they had a huge world tour around this time, just shortly after the album's release, or I'm pretty sure during the time of the album. And of course, Mick and Keith, they're back to being friends again. So this is almost kind of like I guess back to roots, kind of. Well, I don't know if I can really say that. Some people say, oh, it's a new beginning of the Stones, and some say, oh, it's a full circle return here. Whatever, They've been doing this kind of stuff ever since the beginning. Whatever. Of course, during the early 80s, of course, they were having arguments and bickering with each other. So this was sort of almost a return of basically, the friendship with Mick and Keith, I really do love this album. Let's go ahead and get started. Of course, for the enjoyment, I got lyrics here for you all. So, let me go ahead and take a sip here. I got my water. Of course, I got to have my H2O. Oh, yes. The sound of this album, I think the quality is very good. Freaking fantastic. Every single Stones album, brilliant. I can't really say there's been a bad Stones album. Of course, I like Dirty Work. It's not my favorite, but Dirty Work's pretty good. And of course, this album, You know, some people poo-poo those albums, you know, this and, you know, whatever. And even onwards, Voodoo Lounge, Bridges to Babylon, whatever. This is a very great sounding album, definitely. So let's get it on here. So this is side one. So I'm doing part one here, and then part two will be side two. Because, you know, most of these songs I never really heard of, or maybe at least one or two, you know. A handful of these songs, including side one, are singles. We got Mixed Emotions. This went to number 5, and it was released August the 21st of that year. So just shortly before this album was released, including Terrifying. I believe that was a single as well. And then the other side, we got Rockin' a Hard Place. That went to number 23. Almost Hear You Sigh. I think that went to number 50, 1990. Yeah, so a good handful of these songs were, but of course Mixed Emotions was the big hit on this album. So we got a great opening track, Sad, Sad, Sad. Almost a return to the Beggars. You know, this almost sounds like Street Fighting Man, you know. It's got that sound, you know, it's got that Keith rocking sound. Really good rocker here. We got Mick on electric. Of course, he's back. He's back here on electric guitar, but, you know, he's kind of been a while since he's played on electric on some of these albums. Oh, yeah, we got Mick and Keith. Definitely fantastic. And Ron is here on bass, no Bill. Chuck here once again. Of course, Chuck is back. He's playing organ piano. It's kind of back in the mix. And we got this really cool group here. It's called the Kick Horns. Really great on this brass. Almost has like that Exile, you know, sort of feel. Sticky fingers. And this person here named Bernard Fowler on backing vocals. I love some of these lyrics too. Feeling you out into orbit. No one's going to hear you shout, and fools ain't going to follow. You don't need to sleaze about. Now you're sad, sad, sad. You know, but you're going to be fine. The elephant's in the bedroom throwing all his weight about. And I'm locked in the bathroom. Your screams are going to drown me out. Now you're sad, sad, sad. You know, it's a fun song. Good Stones opener. You know, it's got to have that sound, you know. You know, fantastic. I really love that song. It's a great opener. Of course, the Stones are always great for having great opening tracks on their albums. Now here's the big hit, Mixed Emotions. I was watching the music video just yesterday. It's so freaking, you know, it's so late 80s, you know. Nick's got that short hair. You know, he kind of grew out his hair a little bit during the Dirty Work era. But this is pretty good, you know. They're all in the studio, you know, look like they're all, you know, great friend. Now they're back to being together again after all the arguments, and, you know, they're all in the studio together. Got Mick, Keith, and Ron here. All three of them here on electric guitar. It's fantastic. This is a bit of a slow groover, bit of a bluesy kind of a, you know, song here. Bill's back on bass. He's freaking fantastic. You definitely hear him, and he's freaking great. Chuck here again on organ piano. We got these people here. I forgot to write that. Sarah Dash. I don't know if anyone heard of her. Lisa Fisher and Bernard Fowler. We got these people here, you know, kind of on most of this album here on backing vocals. And Louis Jarin on percussion. Never heard of this person. And of course the kick horns, you know, you hear the brass section a little bit here. This is a pretty good song. Pretty good, you know, it's not their best. You know, it's not really one of their greatest songs. It's called Button Up. You know, the lyrics go here. Button up your lip, baby. Button your coat. Let's go out dancing. Go for the throat. Let's bury the hatchet. Wipe out the past. Make love together. Stay on the path. You're not the only one with mixed emotions. You're not the only shit. Drift on this ocean. You know, it's got, you know, pretty good lyrics, you know. You got that, you know, this was sort of, you know, the time where, you know, Mick and Keith are back, and, you know, and so it's pretty much dealt with, you know, the time where they were kind of, you know, so maybe simpling on that, I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty good. Mixed Emotions. Then we get the next song. I love this song. This song's called Terrifying. This was a single, like I mentioned. got a bit of a Latin soul feel. I really like that with the milk shifting, whatever, phase shifters. Mick here only on shakers. Keith and Ron excellent electric. You know, it's got that milky, you know, a little bit of that, you know, like Sade. You know, it has that Sade sound. Chuck on organ. This guy named Matt Clifford. I don't know if anyone knows about this person here. He's playing on keys. You know, it's a bit of a milky feel. Lisa Schiffer once again on backing. Roddy Loomer on that really beautiful trumpet. You can hear that trumpet. It's really good. And Nick Mason. Now, I'm pretty sure most people know that name because he was a co-founder of Pink Floyd on, you know, on this special drums that he's playing here. It's really excellent, beautiful as well. I really love that solo too. Really nice solo. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, I'm lazy as a lion. My body's just for you, crazy for you. I'm sneaky as a snake. I'm dirty as a dog. I'm rutting like a goat. I'm horny as a hog. Terrifying love. I get these strange desires. You know, it's got a little bit of that gypsy feel a little bit too. You know, Stones always cling to that too as well, that gypsy sound. Strange desire. The female backing vocals. Beautiful song. Oh yeah, they were there. You know, this is a perfect example. You know, this song definitely fit on, you know, Black and Blue. You know, maybe even Ghost Head Soup or something. Great song, terrifying. Then the fourth track is called Hold On, what's this song? Hold On to Your Hat. This is a bit of a rockabilly 50s, you know, something that would have been fit off of Exile. This sounds very much like a ZZ Top song, you know, so if you know, hear stuff from ZZ Top, it sounds like that. Mick and Keith, once again, on electric guitars here. A really cool nitty-gritty solo, too, as well, by either Mick or Keith. And Ron here is on bass. I love Ron when he's on bass. He has a pretty cool style in playing. And no Bill here, unfortunately. It's pretty, you know, you know, simplistic lyrics. Like, get out of the madhouse, tear it all down. Get out of the madhouse, burn it to the ground. Got to get out. Get out of my face, get out of my shack. Now you've had a fair share. You had a fair whack. Hold on to your butt, hold on to your hat. Yeah, it's got funny lyrics, you know. Yeah, I don't care what anyone says. Then we get the next song. And it's called Hearts for Sale. This is a bit of a slow groover here. With that, dun, 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 you know, that sort of shuffling sound. Oh yeah, Hearts for Sale. Mick here on electric guitar. I wrote harmonica on here, but I wasn't hearing any harmonica. I don't know. Maybe it's back in the mix or something. Keith and Ron, once again, respectively on electric guitars. Sound freaking great. Matt Clifford, once again, on keys. You know, that subtle, you know, sort of milky keys or whatever. And Bernard Fowler, once again, on backing vocals. This is a pretty good song. Not to say it's their best, but, you know. Hearts for sale, going cheap. Hearts for sale, lovers leap. My belly's full, my glass is brimming. The women look so beautiful, and I feel like singing. I like that line. The voice of consistence, the voice of reason is yakking into my plans. I call that treason. Hearts for sale, they're going cheap. Hearts for sale, lovers leap. I like that. I don't need no doctor, hearts for sale. I need no deputation. I tell you, if you don't want my loving, you can just take my resignation. I'm under the hammer. I'm a full-time worker. I'm a real body slammer. Those are some pretty good lyrics. I like that. Hearts for sale. And by the way, hold on to your heart. There's really one great line, which definitely, definitely defines, of that song, They say yakka yak. I thought that was pretty funny. Then we get the next one, and oh my God, this is a beautiful song. This definitely reminds me of the Sticky Fingers, Let It Bleed. You know, that's nice. It's a bit of a country soul song I put on here. You know, it sounds very much like Everly Brothers, Marty Robbins, like that kind of Tex-Mex country, but it's ballady, you know. Beautiful. Got Mick here on acoustic, got Keith, and I believe Ron. I think all three of them are playing acoustics here. Chuck on organ, Matt Clifford, that beautiful piano and harmonium on here. We got this guy named Phil Beer who plays brilliant. He plays brilliant mandolin and fiddle. Give it that sound. It's so great. And apparently Mick Jagger's brother is on this song. A few songs, in fact. So he's credited on this. Well, he didn't credit the song, but he's in this song. Yeah, I definitely love the pianos. I think it gives it that sound, definitely, for sure. I've been blinded by love. The queen of the Nile, she lay on her throne. She was drifting downstream on a barge that was burnished with gold. Beautiful line. Royal purple the sails, so sweetly perfumed, and poor Mark Antony's senses were drowned, and his future was doomed. He was blinded by love. Beautiful song. Oh yeah, Blinded by Love. Anyway, folks, that's it. Unfortunately, there's 6 songs on side 1. And when we get to side 2, there'll be 6 more songs. So I think the side 1 is great. You know, we had that opener, that rocking opener, you know, it sounds like Street Fighting Man, you know, bringing back that old classic period of the Stone. And then, of course, we got a 50s rocker. And we got a bit of a bluesy, of course you gotta have that slow bluesy shuffle of Hearts for Sale and Blinded by Love, of course. You gotta throw in some sort of country ballad. Then when we get to side 2, I'll have to listen to these songs because, you know, I mean, this is the reason why I'm doing these into parts, because, you know, some of these I don't know, and so I gotta listen to them, and, you know. But great, so my second part here will be side 2 of Steel Wheels. It gets better and better, folks, okay? Bye-bye.